Hey everybody, I just got done doing a local little garden nursery center trip here in the fall. It's Labor Day weekend, and I just want to show you some of the stuff that I picked up because it's an exciting time to get some of the perennial gardens like set for next year, and also get some fun fall interest stuff added to containers. I love pretty much any excuse I can find to go discover new nurseries and support local businesses, also while just getting inspired. They always have really amazing things and different ways of doing them, and it's like, oh, I never thought about putting those plants together, or you discover a new species or a new tip or hint on growing. So it is always fun to just get out there and see what they have. So here's my haul in the back of the truck. I've got a couple different things going on. I got some more Penstemon, or I think this is called, what did they call it? Beardtongue, from Abrahamson Nurseries, which is in central East Minnesota, right on the border of Wisconsin. And I am in love with these plants. I have one that I tried that I got from Gerton's this last year, and it did just an amazing job. It really handled the heat well. It has beautiful colors going on in the foliage, and it actually turns red at certain points too, which is so pretty. And then these little blooms, they shoot up, they get pretty tall, at least a foot or, well, I think a couple feet tall, and they have little white, light pink white blooms on them. Which is why it's called Onyx and pearls, like the black dark of the foliage and then that lighter whitish blooms more in the early summer. They are such a pretty plant, whether it's like foliage interest, something different to contrast against more of the standard green in a lot of the garden plants, and the blooms are really pretty. So I was so excited and happy with these in the garden. I'm investing in more, and they're an awesome perennial for this zone on Minnesota 4B. Here I've got some awesome annuals that were only $5 a piece. These are Rutabekiah, and aren't they stunning? Look at the gorgeous colors. They just make me happy. So I'm gonna just tuck two of them, I only bought two, into some of my arrangements around the house, just to make me happy for fall. I mean, the thing about doing fall arrangements is they're very short-lived, so I'm not going to spend a lot of effort or money on them, but boy, are they pretty. Back to investment perennials, which do last. I discovered a new prairie restoration, it's called, a new place in Scandia, Minnesota, which has a ton of beautiful, wonderful, hardy natives. Just a great place to learn about species of plants that are native to the area and get more versed. So I learned a lot. I got really inspired. I bought this lobelia pack here, and these have done really well in our garden beds. I love the purple blue, and I want to invest in more, so I'm going to scatter these throughout the landscape. And then I've been noticing they do get kind of big. I have one set of plants from last season that is getting big and expanding, so that makes me excited. And you know, basically I know they're worth the investment. Over here we've got red dogwood, which is named for its stems, these gorgeous stems that keep red through the winter. I think these are so pretty out in the wild, and I want to put some in our woodland shade garden beds in the front of the house, just to see how they do. So I just bought 3 of them. These look like such beautiful, healthy plants, as starter plants, and they have a whole bunch of starter trees at that prairie restoration place. So I'm really excited to throw these in, see how they overwinter, and if they do well, I could put more in the garden bed. And just kind of observe and learn and experiment with those. Now, speaking of that woodland shade bed, I found this plant, which I'm really not versed on. I don't know a lot about. The thing that drew me to it is this lime color, and they do really well in shade with a little bit of sun, which is exactly what I have going on in that woodland garden. And they're called, I guess, King Aurelia. And I just thought it was so pretty, and it'll stand out against the dark shade of the garden. And they even talk on the tag about how they really stand out well. So I'm going to try 2 of those, see how they do over the winter. And then again, just like the dogwood, if they do well, I'll continue to invest and expand. Let's move down here to the cab where I put the taller stuff. I don't want to lay down in the truck bed. So in here we have hibiscus. And if you're not familiar with hardy hibiscus for a zone like 4B, colder zone, you really should check them out. They are wonderful. They look like this. I've actually got probably 3 of them in our garden now, 4 of them actually. And they are hardy to this zone. They do well over the winter, and they're just stunning. I mean, these blooms get to be bigger than my face. They are huge. They're like dinner plate size blooms. And I bought these is because I know they do well. I know they have a huge impact and punch with the blooms. I think they have really pretty foliage, and they were a phenomenal price. So Abrahamson, which has a lot of really great perennials, they actually only have these for $25 a pop. That is a really, really good price. You can't get them for cheaper anywhere. And so I was like, awesome, I'm gonna invest in more. I got 2 that match with this red Summerific Valentine's Crush color. Really excited. Just discovered this new to me plant called Monk's Hood. And it looks just super cool. It has blooms that are ready to pop, and they're supposed to be blue. I have never seen these before. I don't think I have. And I was super intrigued. It was a really good price. I think they only wanted $14 for these. And they're really tall. They don't require staking according to their sign, the information they had. Hardy to this zone, and I am always looking for really great like blue colored plants because they're not as common. Last but not least, this plant really got my attention. Get those yellow blooms. Aren't they pretty? So funny thing, I thought these were Heliopsis, which is like a false sunflower that, you know, that's a perennial that comes back. And I was like, oh, well, this looks really cool. I'll get another Heliopsis. Nope, I was wrong. It's a coneflower. So it's a different type of Rutabekiah coneflower. I still don't know a ton about, like, I'm going to say this wrong, but like Echinacea versus Rutabekiah versus coneflowers and Heliopsis. They all seem related, and I need to do more studying on that. I just really love the write-up on this because it won't need to be staked. Like the stalks on these are super sturdy and tall, and it gets to be at least 4 feet tall. I mean, right now they're pretty close to 4 feet. And so I'm really excited about this plant.